Are you ready to get philosophical with Socrates? Well, here we go. Socrates was born around 470 BC and lived almost his entire life in Athens, Greece. Now, this shouldn't be a shock to you, but as a youth, he showed an overwhelming interest in learning. Now, I did want to preface that all we know about Socrates came from the dialogues written by Plato and Xenophon about his life, as well as plays written by Aristophanes. So back in these times, Athenian law stated that all able-bodied men must be citizen soldiers on call for duty between the ages of 18 and 60. So in Socrates' youth, he was an armored infantryman in the military and he showed great strength and courage. He even rescued future Athenian leader Alcibiades during a siege in 432 BC. In the divinely refined Athens, Socrates was known as an odd duck. He would walk around barefoot, he had long, dirty, unkempt hair, he was described as being unattractive, having an upturned nose and bulging eyes, and even though he was super smart, because of his appearance, the people of Athens rejected his ideas. But the prime emphasis of Socrates was the importance of the mind and not physical attractiveness. So when his military career ended, he lived his life out as a teacher of philosophy, with some of his most notable students being Aristotle and Plato. Socrates also believed that philosophy should bring forth practical results for the greater well-being of society. And he pointed out that human choice is motivated by the desire for happiness. The more a person knows, the greater his or her ability is to reason and make choices that can bring forth true happiness. Socrates loved to ask his fellow Athenians in the dialectic method or the Socratic method, which compelled his audience to think through a problem to its logical conclusion. Now, the Socratic method could sometimes make the answers to these questions seem really obvious, so it would make people oftentimes feel foolish, which is why people either loved or hated this method. In 399 BC, Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens in piety and for heresy, and he chose to represent himself in court. And in court, he didn't defend himself by using the normal wrongly accused tactics normal people do. He proudly stated he was doing his community a service by challenging and questioning the status quo and its defenders. However, the jury was not swayed and they convicted him by a vote of 280 to 221. As a punishment, Socrates suggested that the city honor him for his contributions to their enlightenment and paid for his services. However, the jury was not amused and sentenced him to death by drinking a mixture of poison hemlock. Plato described the execution by saying that Socrates drank the hemlock without hesitation. And numbness slowly crept through his body till it reached his heart. Shortly before his last breath, Socrates described it as a release of his soul from his body.